Donald Trump just declared war on Gayle King and the internet is exploding. In a fiery Truth Social post, the former president said her career is over and slammed CBS for keeping her on air. But what's really going on behind the scenes at CBS? And is Trump's rage rooted in personal betrayal? Stay tuned because this controversy runs way deeper than you think. The media world is on fire, and it all started with a single post on August 4th. Donald Trump, never one to shy away from controversy, took to Truth Social and launched a blistering attack on veteran CBS journalist Gayle King, calling her talentless, accusing her of betraying him, and declaring her career over. The 45th president lit a match that quickly set social media ablaze. But this wasn't just a random outburst. There's history here, a long, complicated, and tension-filled dynamic between Trump, the mainstream media, and powerful Black women in journalism. So why is Gayle King, a respected figure with decades in broadcast journalism and a close friendship with Oprah Winfrey, suddenly in Trump's crosshairs? Is this just about CBS's falling ratings? Or is there something more personal going on? And what does this mean for the future of CBS mornings, especially with rumors swirling that the network is already considering replacing King? You won't believe the twists and turns in this unfolding drama. From Trump's past beefs with TV personalities to the unspoken agendas behind network decisions, this story is bigger than it seems. Let's start with what triggered this media firestorm. Donald Trump's Truth Social post on August 4th, in bold, unfiltered language, the former president wrote, "Gayle King's career is over. She should have stayed with her belief in Trump. She never had the courage to do so. No talent, no ratings, no strength." That's not just a casual dig. It's a calculated attack aimed at one of the most recognizable faces on morning television. The timing not coincidental. His statement came just as a New York Post article began circulating, claiming that CBS Mornings was experiencing a significant ratings decline and placing the blame squarely on King and her producer, Shauna Thomas. That article alleged that the show's so-called woke agenda had alienated viewers and sent CBS into a tailspin. According to the report, executives at the network are now quietly considering cutting ties with CBS before her recently renewed contract expires in 2026. But what Trump posted wasn't just about ratings. It was personal. He referenced King's past belief in Trump, insinuating that she once supported him. This raises a bigger question. Did Gayle King ever express support for Donald Trump? Or is this part of a narrative Trump is using to position himself as betrayed by the very media elites he once considered allies? To understand why Donald Trump might be so fixated on Gayle King, we have to talk about the Oprah effect. Gayle isn't just a journalist. She's Oprah Winfrey's best friend, confidant, and longtime media ally. And to Trump, Oprah represents something far more powerful than Hollywood glitz. She's the embodiment of media royalty, the kind he once courted, and now resents. Let's rewind. There was a time when Trump was chasing Oprah's approval. He appeared on her show, praised her publicly, and even suggested she'd be a great running mate during the early days of his 2016 campaign. He clearly admired her influence. So, when Oprah's best friend, Gayle King, stepped deeper into the media spotlight as co-host of CBS Mornings, it was inevitable she'd land on Trump's radar. But their tension truly began to escalate around 2020 during the George Floyd protests and the racial reckoning that followed. Gayle King started using her platform more aggressively to discuss issues like police brutality, racial inequality, and the political divide in America. In one memorable segment, she became visibly emotional while discussing the murder of George Floyd, earning praise from activists and criticism from conservatives. That moment marked a shift. King was no longer just a news anchor. To Trump and his base, she became a symbol of the liberal media agenda. And from that point on, the gloves were off. Trump began treating her as an extension of the media elite. He loved to vilify. And because of her proximity to Oprah, he saw her as doubly dangerous. A media powerhouse with deep influence and even isn't the first black woman journalist Trump has gone after. From April Ryan to Yam Shalkonder, the list is long and the public is noticing. The perception that Trump targets outspoken black women who challenge him, and that makes this more than just a media spat, becomes a cultural flashpoint. But that's not all. Other voices joined in. Celebrities, political commentators, even late-night hosts who Trump has also blasted in the past. The consensus, Gayle King isn't going anywhere. If Trump thinks she's scared, he doesn't know Gayle. When it comes to Donald Trump, nothing is ever truly random. So, let's ask the real question here. Why now? Why suddenly go after Gayle King, Jimmy Fallon, and Jimmy Kimmel all at once? What else was happening around August 4th, the same day Trump posted his Fiery Truth social rant? Well, here's where things get interesting. First, Trump's ongoing legal battles. Multiple indictments, court hearings, and mounting legal pressure have put him in the headlines, but not in the way he likes. Analysts believe this post was part of a classic Trump playbook move. When the heat is on, redirect the spotlight. Target a public figure, spark outrage, trigger social media. And suddenly, we're talking about Gayle King instead of the latest court motion. Second, media attention was shifting back to late-night TV's political commentary. Trump knows Colbert, Fallon, and Kimmel have all mocked him on air, with Colbert's show getting canceled and other late-night programs struggling with ratings. Trump likely saw the moment as a chance to strike back. Third, remember the election is creeping closer. Trump needs every controversy, every headline, and every enemy he can create to re-energize his base. Attacking Gayle King, a prominent black journalist and friend of Oprah, checks a lot of those boxes in his political strategy. But here's where it gets even more calculated. Trump knows King is unlikely to respond with hostility. She's composed, professional, so he gets to be the aggressor without risking a public war of words that makes him look weak. That's the play. As Trump's Truth Social post dominated headlines, all eyes turned to CBS executives. Would they cave under political pressure or would they stand by their talent? By Monday morning, insiders began leaking statements to the press, and the tone was crystal clear. A senior CBS News executive speaking on condition of anonymity to Variety stated, "Gayle King is one of the most respected voices in journalism. CBS News has no plans to part ways with her." That short quote did a lot more than just defend a host. It sent a message. CBS is not backing down. Even more telling was the response from CBS News President Ingrid Sapring-Matthews, who issued a staff memo later leaked, saying, "We value truth, integrity, and journalistic courage, values that Gayle King embodies every day." The memo didn't name Trump directly, but the message was unmistakable. This wasn't just support for a morning show anchor. It was a corporate shield being raised in direct defiance of political intimidation. The network also began pushing out highlight reels of Gayle King's most impactful interviews. From her emotional sit-down with R. Kelly to her tough but fair exchanges with political figures. It was a PR power move aimed at reminding viewers and, perhaps Trump himself, that King isn't some lightweight talking head. She's a journalistic institution. Meanwhile, within CBS, staff reportedly rallied behind her. A CBS insider told the Daily Beast, "Nobody here is rattled. If anything, people are fired up." But what does this mean for Gayle's future? This isn't just about Gayle King. This is about Donald Trump's long-standing war with the mainstream media, and how black journalists in particular often find themselves in the crosshairs. Let's rewind. From the moment Trump entered the political scene, he weaponized distrust in the media, branding major outlets as fake news and labeling journalists who challenged him as enemies of the people. But the attacks were never evenly distributed. They disproportionately targeted Black women in media who held him accountable. Remember April Ryan, Yam Shelsinder, Abby Phillip? All faced public ridicule from Trump for simply doing their jobs, asking tough questions and demanding accountability. And now Gayle King joins that list. What's striking about this pattern is that it serves a dual purpose for Trump. It distracts from actual policy discussions or controversies. It rallies a segment of his base that thrives on grievance politics and cultural division by going after Gayle King. Trump isn't just criticizing a journalist, he's sending a coded message. If you challenge me, I'll come after you.